Greetings, YouTube. Happy Monday, or whatever day you find yourself clicking on this video, because Lord knows this will hopefully be relevant for about 84 days, because that's how many days the new dungeon crystals will last. About once every, 3 months these things go away. And so, about 3 to 4 times a year, I do a video grading every one of them. This is particularly important for my account because for the first time ever, I have hoarded well over 27,000 dungeon artifacts as I gamble to see if it's worth spending my 38,000 dungeon artifacts on. So I will be using my own advice, if you will. As a reminder, and I can do some grading on the 4 stars, and I probably will just to make sure the segment of the community that needs 4 stars gets some advice. But if you're close to that 15 or so 5-star cutoff that it takes to see these 5-star dungeon crystals, it's much better for you to hoard your dungeon artifacts and make sure that you can get the 5-star versus waste them on the 4-star and then regret not having them when you unlock those purchases. So we have very similar names as always to these, but new champions. I have not looked at these beforehand because I'm just sitting down between classes. So we're going to be grading these together and talk about whether or not the champion is a straight God tier banger, a decent champion to have, or a meme total trash letdown, and go from there. 10 champions per crystal, 10% drop rate per champion. And with that, let's dive in. All right. Hyperion. Straight banger, game-changing champion. Love seeing him. Does not need to be awakened, too. Darkhawk, also amazing champion. Starting off great. X23, wow, this crystal is loaded in the first 3 champions. Bishop is fine for defense. She-Hulk, way better. MODOK, way better. Loki, highly underrated, but not on the same level, unless you ask the president of my channel, DTA, as Hyperion, Darkhawk, X23. Iron Fist, I think underappreciated, but not to the level that the best of the champions in this crystal are. Night Thrasher, very solid, and Black Panther OG, love that he stacks bleeds, but also a bit of a average champion compared to other of the skill class. You think about Hyperion, Darkhawk, X23, and along with She-Hulk and MODOK, 5 out of 10 of these champions are very solid. And then you add Night Thrasher. Let's not forget about him. I still don't know the most about Night Thrasher, but I have seen some amazing videos of users sending me their favorite Night Thrasher damage output and utility. So really the only quote-unquote misses in this are Loki and Iron Fist, because I don't even think Bishop is that much of a miss. And I still love Loki, and I still love Iron Fist. I don't think there's a terrible champion in this crystal. And I especially think that there's great... I'm going to give this a B+. If there was a second top-tier champ next to Hyperion, because Darkhawk I think is right there, but not where like Ghost would be, for example, I'd give it an A, but a B+ is a fantastic way to start the 5-star Chaos Crystal. If you don't have Hyperion, Darkhawk, or X23, you would be very smart to go for this crystal. I have all 3 of those, so I will not be going for that. All right, the Nightmare Crystal. Domino, amazing. The champion, very solid for defense. I still don't think he's that good on offense, but maybe I'm wrong. The Thing, heck yes. Katie Candy can hunt for the Thing again. Oh, don't kick me in the face, Katie Candy. Red Hulk, amazing. Guillotine, very solid. Mordo, I hate, but, defense. Thor, Vegan Thor, good for prestige. Moon Knight desperately needs a buff. Inferior Iron Man desperately needs a buff, and Howard the Duck desperately needs a buff. Okay, so this crystal is a step down from the first. Now, you have some great champions in Domino, The Thing, and for that matter, Red Hulk. But then you have, some middle-tier champions in Guillotine and Vegan Thor, and then some bottom-tier champions, particularly for offense, in Mordo, Moon Knight, Iron Man, and Howard the Duck. I think this is probably a C+ to B- grade. If you really, really need a Domino, then you have a 10% drop rate chance to get Domino, and I get it. But this does not have the floor protection that the crystal to the left, the Chaos Crystal, gave us. It kind of can be a nightmare, as is referenced by its name. All right, the 5-star Genesis, the first shall be third. Captain America Infinity War and Omega Red, are you freaking kidding me? That's incredible. Oh my gosh, I love Mephisto. I love Morningstar. Taskmaster, underrated. Korg for defense. Red Skull, underrated, but certainly not the top of this one. Vulture, also underrated, but again. Superior Iron Man and Groot. Well, Groot's clearly the miss of this crystal, but holy cow. Captain America Infinity War and Omega Red? If I had not just got an Omega Red, I would be so over this during my live stream tonight, it wouldn't be funny. I think... between Cap America Infinity War, Omega Red, Mephisto, Morningstar, Taskmaster, and Korg, that's an insane half of the crystal. Red Skull and Vulture and Superior Iron Man and Groot, I mean, you'll take those misses. I'm going to give this an A-. This is a straight banger. Good for you, Kabam, for putting in Omega Red and Captain America Infinity War in the same crystal. Just know that they both do need to be awakened, so keep that in mind. All right, now we've got Symbiote Supreme, fantastic. Quake, amazing. Hawkeye, underrated. Winter Soldier with Killmonger synergies, nice, but not too much to brag about alone. Sentinel, amazing, especially with the new variant content. Doc Ock, solid. Hela, solid. Carnage, solid. Beast, not great. Old Man Logan's getting a buff. Okay, so this is the classic case scenario of a crystal that does not have the ceiling of, say, the Omega Red and Captain America Infinity War, but it also does not have the floor that is some of the same crystals. I think this is a B grade. I think it's just got a lot of solid champions. Beast is really the only miss. And I will say, sometimes Beast gets kills in Alliance War. I think it's just like his clunky animations. But yeah, what a solid crystal the Evolution Crystal is. It's not going to be the Omega Red Captain America ceiling, but if you care about those champions, especially if you need Sentinel now for Variant 3, it's very solid. All right, we only have 2 left. We are just cruising along in this video, and now we have the War Crystal. I know what I'm going to be going for tonight because I see Aegon in it. Now, unfortunately, after Aegon, I've got Magic already high sig, so that's an amazing champion too, but not any use for me. Nebula, I've got at high sig. Yondu, Awakened. Captain Marvel Classic, Awakened. Drax, I don't think I have Awakened. Or Cable Awakened for that matter. But Nightcrawler, Spider-Man Classic, Captain America. Okay, so even though I'm going to be going for this, strictly because Aegon has a 10% drop rate, which is going to be the best possible drop rate I'm going to get for Aegon, this might be the worst crystal in terms of just a lot of duds. Captain Marvel Classic, Drax, Cable, Nightcrawler, Spider-Man Classic, and Captain America are all underwhelming. Yondu and Nebula are solid, though not as solid as, say, what we talked about previously with Captain America Infinity War. Magic and Aegon are the stars of this crystal, the studs. But even though I'm going for this because strictly Aegon, if you had Aegon in this, and especially if you had Aegon and Magic, I'd steer clear. I think overall this is a B-, but just because it's Aegon, I got to go for it. And I will be going to war with the RNG tonight during the stream. All right, 5-star Ghost, amazing. If you don't have Ghost, go for this. Crossbones, underrated, solid. Medusa, amazing. Heimdall for synergies, amazing. Storm, okay. I know sometimes I give Storm flack, but it's because I feel like she's got to be awakened. But Storm is underrated, I will say that. And I have done a poor job at times of not giving her her due. I will take the L on that one. Cyclops, dud. Yellow Jacket, solid utility at times, but for the sake of this, dud. Spider-Gwen, so much better after the beta test. Diablo, barf, alcoholism warning, dud. And Thor Jane Foster. I do enjoy Thor Jane Foster, but she is such an easy drop rate in the 5-star crystal, also a dud. So this is kind of like the last crystal we talked about. Ghost and Medusa are clearly the top 2 choices. Then you have some solid mid-tier options of Crossbones and Heimdall, and even Storm. Spider-Gwen, of course, in there. And then Cyclops, Yellow Jacket, Diablo, Thor, and Jane Foster. This is another B-. You know, I think that it's got some hits and it's got some misses. And certainly if you pull Ghost or Medusa, but really, really Ghost. And speaking of new variant content that can get done by a champion, if you know how to fight with Ghost, you're going to save yourself so many revives and units and potions, etc. But yeah, overall, I think the best grade I would give, and keep in mind, I'm not going to go for this crystal, but I will be promoting it, is the Captain America Infinity War Omega Red Mephisto Morningstar crystal. I mean, that's just such a straight banger. The Genesis. Again, the first shall be last, shall be first, and I would highly promote this. So, yeah, it's a great batch of crystals. I was hoping that they would have Aegon and Omega Red, and I was not disappointed. So there you have it, YouTube. Now the question is, do you think you'll be tempted to go for one of these, or are you going to go for the cheaper version, which is the 5-star basic crystal, which is all the way down here, and you'll notice it's 5,000 dungeon artifacts cheaper, as it's 22,000 instead of 27,000. Either way, comment below and let me know. I always love when my videos end before the 10-minute mark to give you less time to spend having to watch. So I'm going to end this video here and just say have a great Monday, and no matter what day you're watching this, have a great week.